November 12th, 2017. Notice has been duly posted. Please rise for the
Roll call.
Roll call.
oh, roll call, excuse me. It's Onalaska Calisthenics tonight.
Mayor Joe Chilson.
Present.
Jim Benash.
Excused.
Jerry Every.
Here.
Ron Jertson.
Here.
Jim Olson.
Here.
Harvey Bertrand.
Here.
Bob Muth.
Here. Now I promise it's the right thing this time.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public input. Anyone wishing to give public input, please step to the podium. State your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
I can probably get done in 3 minutes. So, my name is Mark Hunter. I'm the pastor at Onalaska United Methodist Church. That's 212 4th Avenue North here in Onalaska. And we are blessed this year. My family has an exchange student from Venezuela who has come to live with us. She arrived a few weeks ago, and we picked her up at the Minneapolis airport and brought her back and drove across the bridge and took her right up to get a picture next to Sunny the sunfish up there. And her eyes got this big. And the fun thing we're finding is that having somebody who's totally new to our community and to our country, I get to see everything with her eyes. And she's never seen a school as nice as Onalaska High School. She's never seen parks as nice as we have in this community. She's never seen leaves change color before. And so she saw her first red coming out on a tree, and her eyes got this big. She's also never seen winter, so we went and got her a coat the other day. But having her with us has made me think of a letter that Jeremiah wrote to the Israelites when they were living in a foreign country. And I think it has some great advice for us, whether we are locals or natives. God says, build houses and settle down, cultivate gardens and eat what they produce, get married and have children, increase in number and don't dwindle away. Promote the welfare of the city where I have sent you. Pray to the Lord for it, because your future depends on its welfare. We're so blessed to live here in Onalaska, and our future does depend on the welfare of this city. So I'm going to offer a short prayer for those who'd like to join me. They're welcome to bow their heads. Lord, we are grateful for the privilege of living in Onalaska, here in the state of Wisconsin and the country of the United States. We are blessed because this is a wonderful place to live. We have good weather. We have good leaders. We have good business. We have good schools. Lord, I would ask that you would bless and guide these men and women who have put themselves forward and offered themselves in service and leadership for our community. Help them to make good decisions on our behalf. Lord, I would pray for those of us who live here. Help us to find ways to live in peace with each other, to promote each other's welfare, to grow and not to dwindle. We pray these things in your name. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Anyone wishing to give public input? Second call. Anyone wishing to give public input? Third and final call. Anyone wishing to give public input? That portion is now closed. We have a public hearing for consideration of an adoption of a resolution to vacate and discontinue a portion of Hickory Street between Highway 35, 2nd Avenue South, and east to the alleyway, located in Section 8, Township 16, Range 7. The resolution is addressed under non-consent agenda item number 12. What is the wish?
I'll make a motion to go ahead with the public meeting.
Okay. There's a motion to go into public hearing by Bob, seconded by Jim. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Okay, we will open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the vacation of the alleyway, please step forward. Second call, anyone wishing to speak in favor of the vacation of the alleyway? Yes. Third and final call. No.
Bob Muth, 317 Spruce Street, Onalaska, Wisconsin. I am for this. I moved here in 1975 as a police officer, got hired here, and the area that we're discussing was seldom used. Since it was closed, it just makes sense to do what we're doing in this resolution. It's just the right thing to do. And matter of fact, most people, the young people, don't even remember the street being open. So I think it's the right move.
Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of vacation? Second call, anyone wishing to speak in favor of vacating the street? Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak in favor of the vacation of the street? That portion is now closed. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Second call, anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak in opposition? That portion is now closed. The public hearing is closed. Are we going to deal with that here, or are we going to deal with it?
We'll go on to the next public hearing. The other item will be addressed in the normal
Okay.
order of the agenda.
Okay, the second public hearing for consideration of designating a local historic structure located at 229 2nd Avenue North, Onalaska, 54650, the Irving and Alberta Perch residence, tax parcel number 18-5-0. The resolution, again, will be addressed under the non-consent agenda, item number 13. We'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the historical designation?
Do we have to make a motion to open that hearing, or
We can. We don't necessarily need one. Would you like to make that motion?
make the motion to?
Okay, we have a motion to open the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Bob. The motion by Harvey. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved. Okay, anyone wishing to speak? Now we have the open hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the vacation? I take it you are going to read something into the record?
I have an email from the property owner, Peggy Chaudhry.
Please.
Katie Aspenson.
Thank you.
561 Court Road, Onalaska.
Thank you.
Dear Katie, it was a pleasure speaking with you this morning. I would like the members of the committee to know how much the home meant to my grandparents, Irving and Alberta Perch. They experienced many years of happiness in that home, watching the sun set over the water. My grandfather owned his own construction firm, Perch Construction, and had the local builders make him a home to last for many generations. The stone on the exterior of the house is hand-cut stone from Winona. I was told by my father, Dayton Perch. My parents, Dayton and Evelyn Perch, lived in that home for 30 years also. I was told by my uncle, Butch Tabbert, that the craftsmanship that went into that home is no longer around and that we could not rebuild this home at any cost. So paying a tribute to my grandparents and acknowledging their residence through a historic property designation is testimony to the lives that were lived in that home and the bond that both my grandparents and parents had to the city of Onalaska. I plan to retire in that home in 2020, and I will try to keep that home in the Perch family. I would also like the committee to know that when my grandfather had given up his position as a mayor, a woman approached my grandmother in the old J&H Cafe on Main Street and asked, "Where are you going to live now that your husband is no longer going to be mayor?" This is my family's White House story for the city of Onalaska. Thanks for making this historical commitment for the memory of my family. Regards, Professor Peggy E. Chaudhry of Villanova University.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Second call, anyone wishing to speak in favor? Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak in favor of the historic designation? Hearing none, what is the wish of the council?
Your Honor,
Yes?
you need to go through the 3 times for against also.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyone wishing to speak against, in opposition? I was jumping the gun there a little bit. Second call, anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak in opposition? That portion is now closed. The public hearing is now closed. What is the wish of the council?
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Your Honor, that will be addressed under the other portion of the agenda.
Oh, that's right. I have a great memory, it's just very short. So we will move on with the agenda. Report from the mayor. I have it all written down, so I can't goof this up. The swearing in of the officers, police officers, Benjamin Town, Danielle Engen, and Michael Dassler. Now, before we bring them forward, I just want to let you know that one of them is not here tonight because his and the rest of the Onalaska battalion have been activated to go to Florida. And so he is already working for Onalaska and keeping us safe and protecting our neighbors. We've had, as all of you know, the last couple weeks have been tragic in the United States, and I am glad that one of Onalaska's own from the police department is amongst those that are down there helping others survive. We're awfully lucky to have a number of people like that working in that Onalaska battalion. I happened to call the mayor of Onalaska, Texas, a couple weeks ago after their tragedy, and he wasn't in the office, but his secretary told us that they're on the right side of the dam and all was good. So I told him, you just make sure that the mayor knows that everybody up in Onalaska, Wisconsin is rooting for them. So, Chief, you want to bring the others up?
We're going to go with who's got the camera. And then if you would just raise your right hand and I will have you repeat after me. I, Danielle Engen, having been appointed to the office of City of Onalaska Police Officer, swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and will faithfully and impartially discharge duties of said office to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Okay, now get to work. Just kidding.
And your family is where? Over there? Okay, I'm going to have you stand on this side again so they can see your wonderful face. If you raise your right hand and then repeat after me. I'm Michael Dassler. Having been appointed to the office of City of Onalaska Police Officer, swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability. So help me God. And then I will let her take over with the pinning. Get out of the way. Thank you so much.
You could have given her a little kiss, you know. It would have been okay. Okay. Now, introduction of Miss Onalaska, although she's not going to be here tonight because she decided that going to class, her night class, was more important than coming here. And I agree. But we are able to, Mackenzie Clipp is Miss Onalaska. But the 2017 Miss Outstanding Teen is here. Lizzie Davis, come on up. And just for the record, I was honored to have judged this pageant this year, and I have a whole new appreciation for the amount of work that these girls go through. So please, if you would wish to say anything to the citizens, please do.
Well, even though Mackenzie can't be here, she also thanks you all for inviting her. And I really thank you all for having me, and thanks, Joe, for being a judge for the Miss Onalaska organization.
Thank you. Come back as often as you want, okay? Thank you. Appointment of Joe Etten to the Long Range Planning Committee. You should have received in your packet a resume. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Joe Eaton to the Long Range Planning Committee.
Second.
Motion by Bob, seconded by Jim Olson to appoint Joe Etten to the Long Range Planning Committee. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved. I've been waiting a long time to do this next proclamation. A proclamation for Leroy Hogum. Whereas Leroy Hogum was a man of great influence and a mentor to people of all ages in the city of Onalaska. And whereas Leroy Hogum was married to his loving wife, Charlotte, for 65 years, and between the two of them, raised a wonderful family of 6 children, 13 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. And whereas Leroy Hogum served his country honorably and was a proud veteran and 50-year member of the American Legion Post 336 in Onalaska. And whereas Leroy Hogum was known far and wide as Mr. Onalaska or Mr. Hilltopper, donning Onalaska purple at all Onalaska sporting events. And whereas this mayor considers himself honored to have known Mr. Onalaska and truly thankful that Mr. Onalaska never chose to run against me. And whereas Mr. Onalaska was born and raised in Onalaska, graduated in the class of 1948 from Onalaska High, and is now a proud member of the Onalaska Wall of Excellence. And whereas the people of Onalaska will miss Mr. Onalaska's sense of humor, humility, kind-heartedness, work ethic, leadership, and sense of encouragement. And whereas the Packers, Brewers, and any NASCAR driver driving a Ford will now have an unfair advantage due to the divine intervention of St. Leroy. And whereas St. Leroy made Earth, and in particular Onalaska, Wisconsin, a better place to be. And whereas St. Leroy will be united with St. Charlotte and live eternally in peace and happiness. Now, therefore, I, Joe Chilson, Mayor of the City of Onalaska, do recognize and proclaim November 26th, each annum, as Leroy and Charlotte Hogum Day in the City of Onalaska, and a copy be forever contained in the records of the Onalaska City Clerk proclaiming such, in witness whereof I have here set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Onalaska to be affixed this 12th day of September 2017. And I know that there's a number of family members. Thank you for sharing Leroy with us and Charlotte. Item E, Code Red announcement. I want all the citizens to know that we now have a new Code Red, right, Chief? That they have to re-sign up for. So I'm encouraging everybody in the city to re-sign with Code Red so that we will be able to make sure that everybody's safe. Item F, library statistics for August. We don't have any yet. I mean, there are some statistics. I just don't know what they are. Okay, recommendations for approval and or possible action from the following committees, commissions, and boards. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member requests removal, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in order of business in a non-consent agenda. Anyone wishing to remove things from the consent agenda? Councilperson Jertson.
Be two items.
Okay.
I think B would be sufficient, and as we get into the Plan Commission, Z. Z as in zebra.
Z as in zebra.
And B as in boy.
And B as in boy. So under the Finance Committee, B.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, B and Z will now become, Z will become B under Plan Commission, and B will become D under Finance Committee. Okay? Anyone else? Hearing none, we need a motion.
So moved.
Okay, a motion to approve the consent agenda with the two exceptions.
Second.
Made by Jim Olson, second by Bob Mueller. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved. Okay, the non-consent agenda. Finance Committee.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item A is vouchers. The list of monies expended since the last Common Council meeting dated August 8th, 2017, in the dollar amount of $1,683,815.22. I'll make that a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by
Harvey.
Bob Muth, seconded by Harvey to accept the vouchers. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved.
Thank you. B, Resolution 30-2017, to submit the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, WEDC, grant application and participate in the Community Development Investment Grant Program. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 30-2017.
Second.
Motion made by Bob, seconded by Ron to approve Resolution 30-2017 and submit the WEDC grant application to participate in the Community Development Investment Grant Program. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved.
Item C, approval of developmental agreement between the City of Onalaska and Ironside Properties, LLC. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Bob, seconded by Jim Olson to approve the development agreement between the City of Onalaska and Ironside Properties, LLC. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved.
Now, item B, which was removed from the Finance Committee, accept Omni Center financials for 2017. I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Bob,
Second.
seconded by Harvey to approve the financials of the Omni Center financials. Discussion. Ron?
I just had a question for Fred on that. The question was, I understood that Omni is running in the green, and then I was told that they're not. What is the financial status of the Omni Center?
The last, I didn't have that in front of me, but I can assure you that probably at least the last 5 years, if not a few more. Keep in mind, I'm not exactly sure what year it was, but the city had contracted out to rink management, of which there was 1 year in which there was a little bit of a void, of which they had a deficit that year. But we consistently, the deficit has been decreasingly less, but there's been a continuous deficit of a smaller dollar amount than it used to be. Some of the steps that the City of Onalaska took over the past 15 years is they no longer are responsible for the debt. And anytime there's a general obligation debt, it's put in through the general fund, debt service fund. So they don't have any fixed assets. So if there's any dollars needed to do any infrastructure or improvements to the facilities up there, it's done through either the Special Projects Fund, where the dollars have been utilized through that method, or through the general obligation capital improvement projects.
Thanks, Fred. That's all I had.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved. Personnel Committee.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item A, review and consideration to the following job descriptions and pay grade changes. 1, the municipal court supervisor job description and pay grade change. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Bob Muth, and who seconded that? Seconded by Jerry. To approve the municipal court supervisor job description and pay grade. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item B, review and consideration of changes to job description and reduction in hours for assistant municipal court clerk from 1,560 hours per year to 1,200 hours per year. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Bob, seconded by Jerry, to move the hours from the assistant municipal court clerk from 1,560 to 1,200 per year. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved. Board of Public Works.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item A is review and consideration of 2017 Railroad Quiet Zone update and application for quiet zone submittal. At the Board of Public Works meeting, this item was approved with a 3-2 vote. This item would be approval of hiring Short Elliott Hendrickson for an amount of $11,900 to resubmit a quiet zone submittal. This would be a update now that we have made changes to the Irvin Street crossing. There are 3 different tasks as part of this, which would all be done as part of the total overall project of $11,900.
Okay, what is the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Bob Muth to approve, seconded by Harvey. All in favor, discussion, excuse me. Ron?
My understanding is this is asking for money to do a study that was done. We're in 2017, so it was done 4 years ago?
Correct. 2013 was the first submittal.
Also, if I remember right, there was some discussion that Fred had put in there that he felt that this was putting good money after bad, if I remember it right, to go up against the railroad. I think it's a bad idea. The railroad's been doing what they've been doing for a very long time. It's a waste of money, and I'm referring to Fred. And I agree with Fred on it. I would have pushed hard on this if Fred wouldn't have got in. The railroads do a beautiful job. They need to be left alone on their way they operate, man. They do a good job to keep us safe. Got faith in them.
Harvey?
Yeah, can you clarify, apparently there are differences in this what we're voting on right now versus what was done 4 years ago. Is that correct? And can you kind of get us from there to here in terms of what's happening?
Yes, with the new Irvin Street crossing being closed to just maintenance vehicles, our highway safety risk numbers will alter, and that is part of the work that will be done. And starting from scratch with the middle process, with the meeting with the railroad, Federal Railroad Association, Wisconsin Railroad Commissioner's Office, and everything, we'll be going through and looking at the crossings once again to try to get a submittal that will pass their muster.
Okay, City Administrator?
I think the additional change, I think, from 2013 till now is the expectation from SEH to provide us with a checklist this time of if it doesn't actually pass this time, in agreement with the Federal Railroad Administration as to these are the items that we are lacking. So instead of perhaps spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a crossing that may or may not be necessary, to have a better sense of what are the things that we would need to spend money on in order to get that the next time around. Whereas right now we don't. Right now we know we have the scores that we have to get, and there may or may not be things that we can do, but there's no, I guess, trying to avoid the word guarantee, but there's no at least checklist of things that we know that we can do to hit those numbers. So I think that's the attempt here with this expense, is to do that report, get the score, but more importantly, identify those specific projects of where we stand right now that we can do, and if we need to do them, identify them and budget for them.
Okay, Jerry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I kind of agree with Alderman Jurtson. However, as I read the minutes, that their decision is based on traffic, pedestrian traffic, and I think we anticipate a lot of pedestrian traffic. Hopefully, we do. And so I'm just a little reluctant on that basis, but I guess I will vote in favor of it, but I really have some concerns about that, because hopefully this thing goes good and we're expecting a lot of people down there. And I myself don't like the trains howling in the middle of the night. Thank you.
Bob? Yeah, I attended the meeting, and Alderman Ron Jurgensen made some really good comments at that meeting that if you don't like railroad sounds, then you shouldn't buy a house near one. I agree with that, but I guess I use that in golfer terms. When I slice the ball out there or hook it over there at Cooley on number 1 and hit a house, I can't blame those people for living there. And according to the law, I checked this out, for the state statutes, I'm still liable for where my ball goes. So if I did any damage, I have to go over there and let them know. That's my responsibility. The crossing at 2nd Avenue Southwest is more industrial. There's not that many houses down there. The sound is still blocked the same way as it has been in the past. The problem with the Irving Street crossing is we have now removed a number of trees down there, so the train whistle that wasn't so loud not too long ago is getting louder and the sound is traveling farther. I live in the 300 block of Spruce Street. I guess I've been there since '79. I'm used to the trains. Matter of fact, I can wake up and I'll tell you that they're going to blow it at 4 times at this time and in that station. So I get used to it, and I agree with Ron in a lot of ways. I'm not going to run out and buy another house somewhere to avoid the train. And I think it's important for the safety of our new area down there, pedestrian traffic, that the railroad is on board with us to have safety measures in place to protect all of our pedestrians and citizens. I'm all for that. But I'm for the study to find out what we can do to improve. I am not in the with the attitude of spending $100,000 for additional items. That I do not approve. But with all the changes now near the trailhead, I still think this study is a good tool, and would approve it at that time for that basis.
First of all, in terms of the folks who live in the houses down there, a lot of them may not have a choice. Secondly, now I have not looked at statistics, but I would think that, let's say 20, 30 years ago, whenever people bought the houses, that there wasn't the coal being brought down from North Dakota, and the train traffic was not near what it is now. Also, in talking with Jared and our administrator as well, I am convinced that we need, I guess it's a checklist of items that are possible and aren't possible in terms of this issue. I'd like to see that in print so we'll know where we stand. Also, I think that in terms of safety, there are measures that can be accomplished in terms of keeping our pedestrians safe.
Okay, Ron?
I just think it's a little bit curious, Harvey, how you say you got a concern for these people that bought next to the railroad tracks over here, but a couple of weeks ago you didn't have any concern about the safety measures that we got to put in for sidewalks. You kind of go back and forth and cherry pick how you do that. You know, you have individuals that bought down by the railroad tracks, but you want them to have a different environment 30 years after they bought it. But you have up here, you got a sidewalk that you want to put in to say that's a safety concern for these people that are up there. It's kind of find that a little bit.
I'm sorry.
I understand your thinking.
I'm sorry, I'm confused is what you're saying.
I'm hoping I did, because you've confused me. Did it on purpose, Harvey.
I'm saying on one hand, I am concerned about the safety of our residents.
I realize that, but
I'm sorry.
Sometimes you're pretty confusing.
Hold it now. One at a time.
Yeah, I am concerned about the residents, and in terms of the sidewalk, and I'm concerned about the residents here. That's why I brought up the fact that, as I understand, there are measures in terms of gates and various structures to allow safety for the,
That's already there.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Abstentions? So moved.
Item B, Resolution 28-2017, authorize City of Onalaska to file for Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources 2018 Urban Forestry Grant. It was the recommendation of the Board of Public Works to approve this resolution.
Okay.
Approve.
Motion made by Jerry to approve.
Second.
Second by Bob. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved. Plan Commission.
I think that's Jim Benash. But
Well, that's Jim. Would you do that, please?
I can do that for you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Item A, Resolution 27-2017, final resolution to vacate and discontinue a portion of Hickory Street between Highway 35, 2nd Avenue South, and East 2 Alleyway, City of Onalaska, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 27-2017.
Okay, there's a motion to approve Resolution 28-2017 to authorize the City of Onalaska to file for the Wisconsin Department of, well, hold it. Final resolution to vacate and discontinue a portion of Hickory Street. Excuse me. Right church, wrong
Second.
pew. There's a second? By Harvey, correct? Okay. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved.
Item B, which is actually item Z from the Plan Commission agenda.
Right.
Accept conditional use permit, CUP, filed by Connor Gavin, 1107 11th Street South, La Crosse, Wisconsin, 54601, on behalf of CAG LLC, 2902 Wild Rose Lane, Onalaska, Wisconsin, 54650, to allow the operation of a coffee shop at 1613 Main Street, Onalaska, Wisconsin, 54650, tax parcel 18-727-1. Was the recommendation of the Plan Commission to accept this with the conditions as stated?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Bob, seconded by Jim Olson to approve the motion.
I've sat through quite a few of these conditional use permits for businesses, and one of the things that I'd like to have on the record is that I do not support the micromanagement of these people that come in to try to set businesses up. At the same time, we can help these businesses kind of set a plan up. This particular one here was almost like the individual was working with the city planning as we were standing here, and that's probably the most discerning thing that I've got. I don't think that we should be telling them what to do, but we shouldn't be helping them put it together either. I kind of like these guys. Some of them are very savvy individuals, and they can do it on their own. But I don't think we should. There's got to be a happy medium, and I do realize that these conditional use permits do come up every year for these people. But to tell them that they can't cook a hot dog, I got a problem with that. They're trying to run their business. Let them run it.
Jerry?
I agree with Ron. I too sat through this meeting, and I think the way that this situation should work is rather than us dictating some of the conditions for businesses, and some of these we have no choice. But some of the things they were talking about there practically was how hot you could make his coffee. I don't think that's right. I think in the future, hopefully, when somebody brings a proposal before us, they should have all those things outlined, exactly what they're going to do, their hours of operation, where the restaurant's going to be, how many it'll seat, how much parking they're going to require. That should be part of them making the proposal to us, not us telling them what they should do. So I agree with Ron, and I think in the future, I hope that process changes. And they'll come to us, you know the regulations, then simply inform them they have to change. So it was not a pleasant thing to sit through. Thank you.
Bob?
I attended that meeting also, and I agree with both my colleagues over here. It got to the point of almost being ridiculous. They're almost asking what color are the cups that we're going to serve the coffee, and some of the questions were going too far. And I think that kind of material or decision should have been made. Even the owner that was going to open the business was kind of blindsided and had to try to come up with answers. He was surprised at some of these questions that were being asked. And I think a lot of what went on there should have been eliminated before it came, and I totally agree with both my colleagues.
Anybody else? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved. Let's see, where are we now? Historical preservation.
That'd be me.
I will. Jerry's one? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a resolution number 29-2017, resolution to formally designate a local historic structure at 229 2nd Avenue North, Onalaska, Wisconsin 54650. It is the Irving and Alberta Perch home, tax parcel number 18-5-0, and again, that is to designate it as a historic structure.
Make a motion to approve.
That was on our agenda to be discussed on Thursday, so I'm surprised to see it's on the agenda already. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I recommend approval.
Okay, so
Motion to approve.
Ron makes a motion to approve. Jerry seconds. Resolution 29, 2017. Questions? Comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved. Report from Alderperson Youth.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to read this so it doesn't get long. I asked for this time to comment to the citizens of Onalaska who I've been privileged to serve. I'm in my third term and noted through the years when problems arose of any kind, how our community worked to solve them, and the wonderful things this community has been able to accomplish working together. The generosity and the caring for others when bad things happen is wonderful. I truly believe this is the greatest place on earth to live. Unlike the politicians in Washington and even state elected, local elected officials are your neighbors who you see in church, at the store, or any other local places of business. You have the ability to call them on the phone or arrange to speak to them about any issues you are concerned about. I've also noted that most citizens have no idea who their alderperson is, or who are the judges in the area, or your county board representatives, unless it's an election time, and what are they doing. I urge every citizen to be aware of all your elected officials that are supposed to be representing them and their actions when in office. Anyone can wrap themselves in the American flag and promise politicianal claims and that they're looking out for citizens, but when elected, forget what they promised. Citizens need to hold their representatives accountable. Citizens are the supreme bosses in our democracy, and being elected is both an honor and a trust which should never be broken. If the person you voted for is not meeting your expectations, we need to replace them with a man or woman that meets your standards. I finally wish to thank the citizens that have contacted me by phone and email or when we run into each other on my street. My purpose is this, that I believe this is my last term, and I wanted to give time and encouragement to those who wish to replace me or consider running. Trust me, I will be one that will be watching. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
We'll all be watching.
Report from Alderperson Olson.
Thanks, Your Honor. I'm happy to follow you, Mr. Muth. And to dovetail on some of the things that you've said, I'd like to make a quote that really struck me the other day, and I wish that I had the intelligence to put a paragraph together like this, because this is a quote from Dr. Larry Arndt of Hillsdale College, and one of the foremost experts on the Constitution. So I recommend anybody who cares about this country and cares about the Constitution, wants to know what our founding fathers actually said, please go to hillsdalecollege.com. You can actually take the course for free. It's very enlightening. And it's great for arguing with people who think they know more than you do. But the quote from Mr. Arndt is this: "We were created for a purpose. That purpose is not left to chance or whim, but was determined by our Maker and written in our nature. Our purpose is to seek truth in order to discover and to act on what is good and beautiful in this life." And I just wish that I could have found a way to say that better, but the man is truly unique. And that's why we're all here. And I think every single one of us that serve here or work here should have a calling like that. It's the most honorable thing in the world. So with that, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Report from the city clerk. She's going to give us our population numbers.
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor. I've received the documentation from the Wisconsin Department of Administration. They have sent us our preliminary estimate of January 1st, 2017 population. The number is 18,694.
$18,694. Okay.
Need a motion to accept? Nope.
No.
I'm glad to see we're still growing.
Okay, closed session to consider a motion to convene in closed session under section 19.85, parent 1, parent E of the Wisconsin statutes for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, in this case, limited audit of municipal court processes. If any action is required in open session, as a result of the closed session, the Common Council will reconvene in open session to take the necessary action and or continue on with the printed agenda. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
Second.
Motion made by Ron, seconded by Jim Olson. Roll call.
Bob Muth.
Aye.
Jerry Every.
Aye.
Ron Jertson.
Here.
Harvey Bertrand.
Aye.
Jim Olson.
Aye.
Okay, we stand in closed session.